Hey y'all. Gosh, it's so dark. Why is it so... There we go. That's a little better. Hey y'all, this is Trina. I'm back to do another video review on the Real Housewives of New Jersey, second episode of season 4. It starts out with Melissa Gorga. She's in her basement recording her latest ballad, and it's about her it's about her husband Joe and how she's happy with him and how appreciative she is with him and how she couldn't live without him. It's a very nice ballad. I would listen to it. Anyway, so it starts with her doing that and working in her studio, and the dude that's working with her, what's his name? Something Chubb Ellis or Caleb Ellis or something like that. C. Ellis is his name. Anyway, he's just telling her, put your heart into your song, really, feel it. I mean, she's really lucky to, to have a husband that would, build a studio, in a house for her and stuff, and, telling her how lucky she is. And she really knows how lucky she is. And so he's like, put that, heart into the song and that feeling into the song, you're feeling it, your audience will feel it. And so she started singing it again, and it did. It sounded really good. So I'm really impressed. I would definitely listen to that song if it came on the radio. Anyway, the scene clicks from that over to Ashley. Remember in last week's episode, it shows, Chris and Jacqueline telling Ashley she's got 24 hours to pack her bags because she's either going to go to Las Vegas or she's got to get out of their house. And so naturally, of course, she decides she's going to go ahead and go to Las Vegas. So anyway, in this episode, it starts with her coming down the stairs with her bags, and I guess she enlisted one of the Manzo boys to take her. I don't know if it was Albie or Chris. Anyway, one of the oldest Manzo boy was enlisted to take Ashley to the airport. So anyway, they're on their way to the airport, and I guess she has lots of OCD fears, but anyway, she has a fear of flying, and I think his name is Chris. All Chris Manzo, his intent was, I'm just going to drop her off. So he drops her off curbside, and it shows her going into the airport. But Ashley never actually gets on the airplane. She says she couldn't find where she needed to go and stuff. This woman is 20 years old. Come on. She really didn't want to go. I don't think she wanted to leave. So her plan was, I'm just going to walk this airport and walk around until my flight leaves, and then I'm going to call and have someone take me back home. So anyway, that's basically what happened. So the scene ends with him dropping her off, and Chris heads back home, and he goes over to Jacqueline's house, who she's planned on having a get together, and she was cooking some really yummy looking meatballs. I want that recipe, Jacqueline. Anyway, she's preparing a meal, and the Manzos are coming over. Teresa's coming over. Kathy and her husband are coming over. And anyway, Chris Manzo gets a message from Ashley. Guess what happened? I missed my flight. Da 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 da. So anyway, Chris pulls over and calls Chris Loretta, Jacqueline's husband, and says, we have a problem. She didn't get on the flight. And of course, he's like, well, naturally she didn't. Obviously she didn't. She's just, she don't want to leave, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, the scene clicks over to, they're at Jacqueline's house, and Chris Manzo walks in, and he looks at Jacqueline, and Jacqueline did not look happy at all. She looked actually really pissed that Ashley didn't get on that plane. And then, of course, here comes her husband, Chris Loretta, and he walks in, and he's looking extremely pissed too. And they're like, come on now, what the heck, da 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 da. So anyway, he's like, well, tomorrow I'm going to take her to the airport. I'm going to check her in, and I'm going to watch her walk down the little walkway to get onto the plane. So tomorrow she will not be missing her flight. Anyway, so then everyone's arriving at Jacqueline's house for the party and stuff. And then the Manzos are there, and Kathy and her husband, I can't think of their last name. They have a really weird Mojito or Lahiqua. They have a really weird last name. Anyway, Teresa's cousin Kathy and her husband, yeah, they all show up there. So anyway, they start talking about Teresa, in the cookbook, and same old crap. Oh, we're upset about the comments she made about our families, blah blah blah, the same stuff we've all been hearing, And then all of a sudden, Teresa comes in, and you can kind of tell when someone's been talking about you. You've been the topic of conversation. You can just kind of tell, and she got that feeling. She, in her little confessional, she's like, I could tell, they were talking about me before I excuse me, y'all, that's my phone. Before she goes, I knew they were talking about me before I came in, and so she goes, before we eat and start playing poker, I just, wanted to once again, say I'm sorry, if anyone's offended by what I put in the cookbook, but, I did say a lot of really nice things and stuff, and it wasn't meant to be malicious and da-da-da-da-da, and of course everybody, Caroline's like, whatever, they're all, Kathy is rolling her eyes, everyone is like, yeah, right. Whatever, Teresa, tell it to someone who's really interested in what you're saying. I mean, that's how they were all acting. And so she kept just going on and on and on. And then Joe Giudice, her husband, was like, okay, Teresa, that's enough. Okay, you've said what you need to say. And she said, okay, well, I just really wanted to, want us all to get along. And, and I'm really sorry. I don't want there to be any bad feelings and stuff. I really wasn't, meant to be malicious. And then Melissa Garga goes, well, that's okay, we'll take one for the team. And she's like, what do you mean? She goes, no, we'll just take one for the we'll take one for the team. You said some horrible things about us, and we'll just roll with it. I mean, you have to if you have to make those statements in order to make some money, to sell books, that's fine. And then of course Teresa's husband goes, well, she had a #1 bestseller before that book, so I don't think she needed to put you down to make money. So he did jump in and was like, she had a bestseller before, she actually did that book. So yeah, she don't need you to sell some books or make comments about you to sell some books. But anyway, so everyone was just over. They're like, okay, enough is enough. She said, okay, now everyone, let's go play some poker. So then all the dudes go downstairs and they're playing poker, and all the girls are sitting upstairs looking at each other with their stank faces and like, oh gosh, you know what I mean? Like they don't want to be there. And then let's see what else happened. Then I guess it clicks over to Kathy's husband, I guess, owns some... Oh, Kathy's husband owns a gas station, and he takes his 15-year-old son to the gas station, just to show him how things work, just to, to see if he wants to kind of take over the business when he's ready to retire. But, I mean, that boy's son is 15. He ain't thinking about taking over no businesses right now. I mean, that's just not what he's thinking about right now. And then, of course, they find out that on his Twitter account, he's got girls sending him pictures of their boobs and stuff. And, of course, they, the Kathy and the husband go to talk to him about it. And, it's really weird. It's just... I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about Kathy and her husband. I think he's, I don't know. I like them, but the husband is kind of, he stirs the pot a lot. He's always keeping up a bunch of junk. That's the only thing I don't like about him. And I can't freaking remember his name to save my life. Anyway, guess it doesn't matter. I don't watch the show for them anyway. But anyway, so this week was episode. It was uneventful, but it was still good, and I'm glad they finally got Ashley off to Las Vegas. I hope she really takes advantage of the opportunity to get her act together, because she is 20 years old, and I hope that Chris and Jacqueline keep to their word that he can't come back unless she's got a plan in place on what she's going to do. And let's see. I do hope that, Teresa and all the other girls can mend fences, but they did show previews of next week's episode, and it looks like they're going to have a big brawl. But there's going to be a big brawl between Melissa and Teresa, and it's going to be horrible, but can't wait to watch it. So I'll come back in and chime in and let you guys know what I think about that. And so, anyway, this week was kind of... nonchalant. Really, it really wasn't much to talk about. It was interesting, you know. And Teresa is still trying to mend fences. Oh, and then they also showed up, I guess, that deli or pizzeria that Joe opened. He's now closing that, and now he's looking at a gas station across the street. You know, and so I don't know. He's going from one thing to another. So I don't know. I hope he can get his act together for his family's sake, because Teresa loves her some Joe Giudice. She loves her brother too, but she don't want her husband to go to jail, and she, you know what I mean, she wants him to succeed, you know, as well as herself. And I just hope all that works out, even though I'm not a real Teresa fan, but you know, I kind of feel bad for her, you know what I mean? And I'm really rooting for her on the Celebrity Apprentice. I'm definitely surprised she's lasted as long as she had. Do I think Teresa is a leader? No, but she's a workhorse. She's a grunt. She's a workhorse. If you ask her to do something, she'll do it. And you know, she's just as far as articulating herself, she's just not very good at doing that. And that Audrey, y'all. If y'all been watching Celebrity Apprentice, Audrey O'Day, the former member of oh my God, why am I thinking Destiny's Child? Oh my God, Danity Kane. Oh my God, that girl is so stuck on herself. I mean, she will throw you under the bus in a heartbeat. I mean, Arsenio Hall can't stand her for a good reason. Even Donald Trump's daughter is like, you know, you really do think more of yourself than necessary. I mean, you interject your opinion when it's not asked for, and you're constantly, you know, I did this, I did that. Even with between her and Teresa, I guess Donald Trump was going in on Audrey, and she goes, Teresa, haven't I taught you everything you know? Like Teresa's some dumb broad, like she just fell off a turnip truck yesterday and don't know nothing, and everything that she's learned from this 25-year-old kid who thinks she all that. I was just like, oh my gosh. And Teresa's like, I mean, she didn't know what to say. I mean, it's like, anyway, so I'm surprised she's lasted this long, but I think this may be her last little week there. I don't know, because I mean, she don't have what it takes to go up against Aubrey, because Aubrey she can debate. She's a good speaker. She can debate, and you know, she's cutthroat. So I don't think she would stand a chance against her. I don't think she would stand a chance against Lisa Lampanelli, because she's another, you know, I like Lisa Lampanelli because she's an excellent comic. She's funny. But as far as a person to work with and stuff, she's very insecure. She was hating on poor Diana. Diana's the latest Miss Universe, beautiful girl. Hated on her just because she's pretty. So she played on, Lisa was like, oh, she's just a dumb, you know, there's nothing here from the neck up. I mean, there's nothing here. She's dumb. She has nothing. And I mean, she was just so mean and nasty and rude to her. So I'm really not feeling Lisa Lampanelli. But if it's Teresa versus Lisa, Teresa's going to lose. Okay, so then she don't stand a chance against, what's his name? Aiken. Oh my God, he was on American Idol. Something Aiken. Croy Aiken is his name. She don't stand a chance against him, and she definitely don't stand a chance against Arsenio. So anyway, I think the last three that's going to be vying to win this season of Celebrity Apprentice is going to be Arsenio Hall, Aubrey O'Day, and Lisa Lampanelli. Oh, the top four are Arsenio Hall, Lisa Lampanelli, Troy Aiken or Croy Aiken. What's that boy's name? Y'all know who I'm talking about. Anyway, from American Idol. And yeah, so the two guys is Aiken, Arsenio Hall, Lisa Lampanelli, and Aubrey O'Day. That's the final four. So anyway, we'll see what happens on that. Y'all chime in and let me know what you think about this review. So I guess I'm gonna have to label it Real Housewives of New Jersey / Celebrity Apprentice, because I've been talking about them too. So anyway, y'all let me know what you think. Thanks for taking the time to watch my video. If you like my channel, please subscribe. Hit the like button. If you don't like it, hit the do not like button, and we'll go from there. Anyway, thanks for taking the time to watch. I love y'all. To the next video. See you later. Love ya. Mwah. Bye.